So we will get started here, and just as normal, if anybody has any flow they want me to specifically look at, any charts they want me to look at, feel free to drop them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll kind of look at flow. It's getting a lot of put flow today. Been kind of holding off a little bit now. Obviously, down pretty big on the day, about 1%, a little over 1.5%. So kind of don't want to get caught chasing that move here, but take a peek at kind of what's coming in. We'll start with the tide here. So market tide, obviously very clearly bearish here. Your out of the money net put premiums are sitting at 145 million. Your net put, all your net put premiums are 243 million. Net call premiums out of the money only sitting at minus 408 million. All call premiums 499 million. You are seeing a lot of put volume here as well. Very clearly bearish here on the day. XOM is kind of your only leader here. IWM seeing some call premium as well, but everything else kind of in between there. Pretty flat here in your major contributors here to the tide, though, would be Tesla, QQQ, Palantir, and NVIDIA there. Let me give this a refresh here, and we'll take a peek at the sentiment gauge. Back into the fear rating here. So seeing a lot of downside here, and obviously a lot of put volume here earlier in the day. Still seeing maybe some chasers here. Not a huge fan of probably chasing right now. More than likely probably see a dip buy at some point here before maybe another leg down. We did fill that gap almost there. Nope. Still got about another $1 or so there to fill that gap there, and you can see currently, actually I'll pop this over to the sector flow. Pop this over here. Oops, not that one. Sector flow. Come here. Nope, we are under this guy. Volumes, we're getting close to that 30-day average here. Obviously, a couple hours left in the session. Energy still slightly below. Healthcare is above the 30-day average. Little over half on staples. About half or so here on materials, utilities, a little below. Let's see, what do we got here? Anything else over? Industrials almost at that 30-day average. Tech is getting up there as well. But yeah, so I mean, just a lot of bid side activity here on real estate there. Let's see what we can see what's going on here. Just doing a quick little looky poo here. Let's see. Just trying to look for anything that's sticking out there within that sector. Nothing major there. Looks like EQR would be one of them. SBAC. These guys here are probably causing your spike there in the bid side activity there. But here's some dings coming in, so let's hop back over to the feed and take a peek. So the SMC 121932 puts just hit, coming in at the ask, good size, good premium, definitely going to be an opening trade here, so we'll take a peek at it. So, and this is kind of why I've been holding off on posting some more bearish flow. We're already down 8% on the day here, so it's a little hard to kind of chase something like that. And you do see kind of those put premiums starting to kind of tail off a little bit here as well. Multi-leg under 10%, so we're good there. 8% out of the money, not too far for a little over a month on those. Just kind of looking at the IV here again. Not really seeing a whole lot here, and don't know for sure, but can speculate. There's other kind of smaller size in here coming in about 10 seconds after, 15 seconds after or so. Could be part of the trade. Hard to 100% know, but You do see that decrease in the IV there as well, and then kind of a small pop there. So probably going to pass on something like this. Obviously, again, you're down 8% on the day. You don't want to get caught chasing something like this. And especially with your put premiums kind of tailing off here and your call premiums kind of flat as well. Some more Tesla, some long-term. Smaller size on Tesla. I like to see usually a lot more size on Tesla. But we'll take a peek at it. Again, another one that's just getting clobbered today. And still seeing a lot of put premium here, though. Call premium is slightly kind of coming up, but still a lot more put volume here. Just looking 7 days out here. So just your net premiums here, essentially all your gaps would be filled here, at least over the last 7. Let's pop this out 14 and just double check. Yeah, looking good there. So your price essentially closed everything there, 30 days. So yeah, your price, it's pretty extended there, and Tesla just obviously clobbered today. So 35% out of the money, 240 some days. We'll take a peek at it. So IV does spike when this comes in. Oh, get out of here. No. And the one thing about that, before we get back to the stocks, I am kind of nervous because everybody is picking the Patriots to win, and usually you know how that goes. Something dumb is going to probably happen. There'll be like a tipped field goal at the end or something. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it yet, but I am excited for the game tonight. And excited to talk a little S to you tomorrow too, hopefully. So those Teslas probably pass on something like that. Let's see, what else do we got? Yeah, just a lot of long-term flow coming in. Bad spot here. I mean, more towards the bid anyways. It's almost a 25% difference between that bid and ask there. Probably want to avoid something like that. Getting clobbered anyways today. Put premium still up. Very long term on those. Let's take a peek at them. So 6509. So IV does spike when it comes in. Obviously a lot of volatility on this stock as well. 6509. Could be part of that trade. Again, hard to know. I mean, you're within seconds, 20 seconds between those extra two, and you do get some size and a little premium on there as well. Could be part of it. Hard to tell. But a little longer term on those. Probably not a fan of that. But we can actually, let's go back here and look. See how we're looking internally. So yeah, just not a lot of premiums on this one. Again, nope. Yeah, almost favoring a move back up to the upside actually, because all your levels have essentially been hit except your high big levels up here. Something to watch there. Probably a no on that flow. Let's see, so these IEPs just hit. So coming in at the ask, great size, definitely an opening trade here. Down 3% on the day, so that's not horrible. 14% out of the money, 127 days. Let's see, 57, 59. So this is where I don't like the flow. So you see when all that size comes in here, that IV drops, and then you have more size coming here, and then it pops again there. So when that IV is fluctuating like that, dropping and then popping again, usually not a fan of that. And a lot of this is kind of coming in at the mid fill there as well. So I'm gonna kind of probably make an educated guess that this would, well, actually this looks like it'd probably be at the ask. Sometimes when it's a little goofy, well, that bid ask is messed up there. I see it now. I was like, why is it looking goofy like that? But yeah, your bid ask, I mean, it's 60 there, so that's pretty goofy spread there. So maybe actually coming in at the bid here, essentially, not the mid. So just kind of goofy how that one is. So that should kind of be a little red flag to you there. And let's just, and you see we're already popping after that kind of came in there. We got some more coming in here too. Let's just look at the last 14. Yeah, just not a lot of big moves on the, or big premiums on this one. Let's take a peek here. Yeah, so I mean that's clearly your highest volume contract on the day there. Let's see, Gamma's favoring an upside move anyways there. So yeah, I probably would not touch those long term. But let's see what else we're at, and we're getting more here too. Yeah, so that's odd to me. Usually when it hits the feed like this, it kind of grabs my attention. But again, looking at that internally, it wasn't. It almost looked like that was at the bid. So better safe than sorry. It's if you gotta sit there and kind of guess and hope, and just kind of move on to another piece of flow. Let's see what else we got. Again, shorter term JPMs here. You're already getting crushed on the day, and more than likely you're going to see a relief bounce at some point after a big day like this. I mean, market is just, I mean, we're about to fill that gap there, and you're down. I mean, you're down pretty big today, and you're usually going to see dip buyers step in. But this one, again, you have call premiums coming back up to the ask side a little bit. Still majority put premiums there, and then your put volume still up. These, the raw flow here. So this is why looking at that flow feed is important here, because we're going to pay attention to the timing here. You can see that IV drop here when those repeated hits come in, even though you're at the ask. So these may be sells at the ask. And with them being 3% out of the money, I mean, it's favorable. It's not too far out of the money for 8 days. But, yeah, just that flow didn't look that good. We'll take a peek at the internals here. The dog came and put his paw on my knee, so I'm like, where is he going? So, okay, let's look at our highest volume. So some bid side calls there again. So ask side puts here, so some more 36-day ones there. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Gamma's looking favorably to the downside there as well. I don't like the short term, though, with us being down that much on the day. Just have to see how we play out. And then even again, just kind of looking at that bid side flow after. It's about a minute after. It's probably not part of the same trade, but you do see that IV drop. So if it is part of the same trade, then would convince me more that these are short puts there, selling the puts. Let's see, and yeah, again, I mean, you're getting all this volume still on IWM puts and all that. You are already getting creamed today here, and you got call premiums up, put premiums bid side. You're 5% out of the money, but again, what are the odds that you're probably going to see a bounce here at some point before that 36 days? I'm just kind of looking at that here too. I mean, your IV spikes, and when you're down this much too, that's the one thing with the IV. People want the put, so it's more, I like to say, okay, it's like the new iPhone. Like, let's say the new iPhone came out and they did more than a update on the calculator app. Like, let's say they have 2 calculator apps now, and we're like, hey, I want that second calculator app. Everybody's going to be bidding up to get that price there. So that IV is going to kind of be spiked there as well too, with us down so much on the day. Versus like if you've seen these come in as calls and you're down here and that IV's rising, people aren't really there. I don't really care too much about calls. So when that IV's rising on that contract, there's more of an expected potential move on that there too. So kind of a little example there too. And the calculator app comment is them trying to, not having the best innovation over the past 6 or 7 phones. Anywho, so yeah, no on those JPMs. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, just lots of multi-leg junk today. And I mean, this stuff here, like, yes, it's going to probably make a move, but you're 22 days out. And if you don't get that big move there and you're getting killed on the day already, data's going to get these things quick. So it's just kind of a lot of knowing fundamentals in the market as well with something like that. Let's see, these HIMS calls, I didn't even want to touch those. Multi-leg 18%, so good reason why not to touch those, but we'll come back here and take a peek. So yeah, I mean, you have that IV spike there. To 169, you're staying up that whole time. Yeah, sometimes you just don't go against the full tide there. And I mean, you're seeing ask, call, and put premium there on something like that. It's sometimes can be hit or miss when it's like that. Let's look at our gamma. So yeah, I mean, you're pretty much in line there. Yep, nope, you are 1000% correct. Usually, I don't want to say you should always go against the trend, but just, I mean, if you've been trading for a while, you know the market is not going to consistently drop probably another 1.5% tomorrow. More than likely, you're going to see dip buyers come in and retail buy it up and all that. I mean, the market, you just look at the most basic example here. This is your all-time market. Obviously, what is the trend? You're trending up. More than likely, it's going to continue to trend up over time. So look at these coin puts that came in here. So a little smaller size here. We'll take a peek at them, though. So again, another one that's just getting killed on the day. You're 13% out of the money on weeklies. Probably not that smart to chase something like this, but if you're a quick intraday scalper, then it's fine. But just kind of look at that feed here. So 81.9. So okay, I don't like that right away because you see that IV drop. Now it pops again here. So, and again, that's all within a second of each other there, where you see it just kind of bouncing around there. When it's bouncing like that again, you're just kind of looking at the flow. I mean, 90% of the flow that you're going to look at is probably not going to be good. There's some things like this I would maybe put into that developmental channel where it's like the flow looks kind of good, but you've got some different rules that aren't being hit, like your IV's not increasing and it's bouncing all over. Dog's barking at something. Do we look at the oh, we didn't see these coin puts yet. So again, bid-ask spread here a little wider. Spots coming in, I almost want to say more, it's obviously more at the ask, but that just gives me mid-fill vibes there. And again, down on how much on the day already. Just kind of looking at that flow again. So your IV does spike here, so it looks good. So this is your ask here, the 505. So it is coming in at the ask, technically. Small little drop there, but only by a cent. So your IV stays up. Small little drop here, again, only 5 contracts, not a huge deal. You got some more coming in at the mid here then, technically. So it's another one of those goofy ones there. And your IV does rise. Probably would lean with these actually being buys more so than the other, I think they were 8 days out. Especially if crypto continues down, and just 14 days out. I mean, it's your biggest day of net put premium since back here on, what is that, the 4th? So I'd probably almost lean buys on those ones. Probably wouldn't want to swing them though. Maybe a quick intraday scalp there. Let's see how we're doing ETF wise. So these IBITs coming in at the ask. Pretty good premium here, and you're getting some size. Let's take a peek here. Obviously puts are put volumes up there, put volumes up there, or put premium, and then that's your put volume. Your net call premium is kind of down. 0% out of the money, not too high on the multi-leg. Anything under 10, I say, is fine. So we do have some flow before and after to kind of take a peek at here. So that IV does kind of spike here when this comes in. And then you have another spike here. So again, your seconds are all matched up here. 99% chance that this is probably the same whale, at least in these 3. This one's about 30 seconds later. Probably the same whale, but with it not being the same exact second, hard to tell. But these look like buys to me. I'm going to throw these in the ETF flow here. So let me throw those in. And again, closer to the money, that 0% out of the money, more favorable, and you have a lot of time on these too as well. So again, this is just where kind of understanding that market mechanics, dip buyers, short coverings, all that come in handy. So let me pop this into the ETFs. So give me 1 second here. Pop that in there. Yeah, those SPY puts earlier made a great move on those. Great move down on those. And even, I do want to pop those. MicroStrategy's made a really great move too as well. That was your whale there. You came in at 6, actually ran up to 670, so a little over 10%. Even got a little dip there, and then you ripped even more up here to that 740. Seen a lot of ask side candles near that high though, about roughly the same volume, so they could be getting out at the ask. But again, you know you're shorter term on something like that. You see profits, you're up that much, should probably have a stop on. And just kind of looking at that call, yeah, I mean, puts really came up now, and now you're starting to kind of spike a little bit more too there. So interesting on those. That QQQ whale, I believe they got out today. Yeah, you got 3,100 contracts there, about 3,000 there. My guess that whale got out here 608. Have to check that tomorrow to double check that one. Little time on those though if that whale did not get out. Google, I believe, this whale. And these made a good move yesterday too as well. And I think that whale took some contracts off the table because you don't have that full amount of volume carrying over there. 108, and then, I mean, you hit 124, you're up over 20% there. Gotta have a stop on when you see profits. Let me go back to the IWM flow for you there, Brian. You're looking at the shorts, the 226 puts. Because yeah, I mean, you're seeing a lot of cold premium there. I don't know if I'd continue shorting it. I mean, without an intraday, maybe intraday, but calls. Let's look for calls. So that was IBIT for the calls there. Yeah, nothing for calls on IWM, SPY, or QQQ today. Nothing on it on there. So yeah, I think it was the IBITs that I'm thinking of there. And got coming in. Not much else coming in. Market tide. Little bounce there, but not seeing a lot of call participation in that one there. Yeah, maybe we'll get some more into close. That's my guessing. And I mean, you're seeing positive net call premiums on it, so it's kind of telling there. And XOM really dropped off there too. Let's see what happened there. So your call premiums dropped. Let's go here. So somebody probably sold calls there. Closed their calls or rolled their calls there, but looks like that one's kind of ending there. Wonder if it was these guys that caused it. Yeah, this is bid side here, so this is a lot of bid side call volume. So that's your reason for that spike right there. Just have to see if these are both carry over, but looking at them here, 19, you pop, 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 and you drop here. These might be short calls here, so I think they may be selling these calls now, which could make sense to see that price eventually come and hit that gap there as well. It's a lot of volume there on those. Let's see. Let's look at our gamma. Yeah, and you hit your levels here too, so your levels essentially would be closed there. So nothing on the gamma side of things. Let's pop this back to the tide. I heard a ding. So you know, these are interesting to me because we have coin calls coming in that are expiring tomorrow. You are 2 cents below the ask. You know you're getting pummeled on the day. We're going to see a rally into close here. Well, it's already kind of popping there. So let's just quickly look at these. So 2% out of the money, 5% multi-leg. So I do like these for a good, maybe a quick scalp into the close. 500 contracts are coming in 2 cents below the ask there. IV spikes. You know you're getting killed on the day. Dip buyers possibly, and I mean you see it already kind of starting to rally there a little bit there. So yeah, like that's what I'm kind of looking for there. It's I don't want to say you always want to get the opposite of what that ticker is doing on the day, but like this sticks out to me more than those puts essentially, just with knowing how bad you're down on the day. Probably gonna get a dip buyer coming in there. And let's see what we're getting more multi-leg stuff there. Yeah, I like those coins. I'm gonna toss those into our channel. Save. Oops. Save this in here. Yeah, I like this for a flow alert as well. So let's do this. And again, something like this, like you know it's one day. I'm looking for a very quick scalp up. I am not holding these overnight, because if you look at them, let's come over here. Where is my right here? So you pull it into the profit calculator. Your theta decay, you're going to lose about $1 on that contract. So tomorrow, if you swing these and there's no movement, you're going to be down over 50% on them. Oops, let's come back here. So just again, most people kind of have a basic understanding of options and how it works. So, but for those that might be tuning in, even on X or somewhere else, I kind of like to just hit on some of the stuff there. Where ETF? Oh, I already had it open. Jeez. I'm ready for Friday. I am ready for the weekend. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of advancers here. Yeah, just not a lot going on. So, I mean, you got that quick little pop. And I think a lot of the Fed speak today, too, maybe help drive us down. I don't know who it was I saw him kind of talking during lunch and talking about how they thought tariffs are going to make inflation go up at the beginning of next year and all that. So I think a lot of that might be putting fear into the market as well, too. Just with the rate cut, obviously, kind of being a little more uncertain for the December meeting. So the one good thing is with the government reopening, we're going to get our September data. I know they're going to release the jobs report, but without the unemployment percent, we might get our October CPI print. And that's the thing, I don't know how accurate we can take that stuff too, because obviously your job numbers are going to be a little skewed as well with the government shutdown. Yeah, I know the BLS came out yesterday and said they were going to do it M1, but I don't know. It can change. That's the thing, but that's the one thing I'm looking for going into the December meeting, and I'm going to touch on it a lot on the overview this Sunday. Data is going to be, yep, I saw that too as well. And then even with the ADP weekly change, that showed, I think it was 11,000 jobs lost within the week. That's not good. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting as we get closer to the Fed meeting. MP, let's see, okay, jump there. Because we have 26 days until your next meeting, and I didn't even look at the numbers today. Yeah, you're dead set on no cut or a 25 basis point cut. So you are, and just looking at that from yesterday, 13% jump almost in essentially no rate cut. So that's the power of Fed speak as well too there. But staying at that 50% there, we'll see. The only way I think they cut is if the labor market really, really drops. But again, with the government shutdown, numbers are going to be skewed a little bit as well too. So we got to keep that in mind. What do we got here? Tide. Everything's sitting here. I mean, without your Tesla, Palantir, and QQQ though, you'd be kind of flat here. Obviously, tech is weighing on us here. Let's pop up the heat map here. Suppose I could have searched it there. Oh no, wrong one. Okay. Fat fast fingers. Yeah, I mean, glaringly, it's tech that's killing us today. Healthcare, it's up a lot. RK up another 2%. Yeah, that is the one thing. Those BE puts, I should have swung those. And we were talking about that, right? Oh, it looks like a big chunk coming off here. Yep, yeah. And that's the one thing here. I gotta pop this back up because we were talking about this in the live stream yesterday. I'm going to look at it and I'm going to be really upset with myself. Oh, that's a massive move because I think we were looking on the 1 hour yesterday. Yep, I got it right here. Where I said it looked like you're starting to form that bull flag coming up into that. Yeah, tell me about it, Meg. Even MRK was really, really good. I get trigger happy. Like when I see 10-15%, I have a stop on. So I think I'm going to stop kind of putting in a little of that guidance in the flow and charts. I'm just going to kind of put where I put stops more so, because I don't want people to shadow me and then miss out on a big move, because obviously, you know, I'm doing all this as well too, so when I'm seeing 15%, 20% profits, I'm taking them, because it does get hard to kind of manage Discord and trade as well at the same time. But yeah, that hour chart, just nasty. You can see how we just came up, we hit that uptrend again there, and then there's your gap fill. I didn't think we'd fill it that quick, honestly. And even the MRKs, I got in. Yeah, no, that's the thing, M1 though. It's like I like to. I wish I could tell people, like, you know, do this, do that, do this, but one, you know, it opens up a whole lot of different cans of worms that way. And that's the one thing too, because there's a lot of people that ask for, oh, what is the exit, what's that, like, that's up to you. That's up to you. You have to manage your own trades. You shouldn't be, obviously, again, kind of like you said, exactly copying you to the cent on what you're doing. That's, you can kind of get in trouble that way. But like yesterday, like the MRKs, I got out, I think I was out about 91.70 is when my stop hit. So I kind of, no, I was, okay, 92-ish. I'm sitting there, I don't have my broker open, but we broke out of that on the hourly yesterday. And I said adjust your stop up there. And then came in, and again, I mean, you would have got a big candle up today, but you're getting close to that resistance there, so pretty close there. But again, that was a nice solid play out of that. I believe we were looking at the daily chart first on that one. So I mean, yeah, you popped up. I mean, you sold a little off yesterday, and then you got your big pop today, and it's kind of selling again today near that resistance. So I mean, two really great flowing charts plays, and that's kind of and I know that's what Keith does too. Like, he'll tell you more like where that stop should be. So that's kind of what I'm gonna kind of do. And that's the thing too. Like, when I'm saying, oh, I'm gonna take some profits here, that doesn't mean you have to, and that doesn't mean you should either. Just because I'm taking profits, again, I'm managing this whole Discord, so it does get a lot to, you know, trade and manage and do all these reports every half hour and everything, so it does kind of eat up time. But that's where a lot of stops come in and all that as well too. So, and yeah, it just gets tough. I wish I could do everything, because I know there's people, like, especially with the flow alerts, I can't tell you when to stop out. And that's another thing too. If I tell you, okay, stop out at 15%, well, what if you stop out at 15% and it bounces immediately right away and it runs for 70%? Are you mad at me because I said I'm stopping out here? So I think the levels thing helps a lot more versus actually like, hey, this is your set stop, because everybody has different risk, everybody has different portfolio sizes. I know there's people that'll trade the contracts all the way to zero too. So, but you just have to kind of, it's a lot of time and learning and all that, just kind of what you should be doing. But God, oh, that B one's, oh, frustrating. And even yesterday, I honestly didn't think we were going to trigger yesterday when and we did buy that pretty much back up too. But with us being down that 8% the day before, I figured we'd maybe get another bounce up and get a retest of that zone and then drop. But whew, that's a nasty candle there. That is a nasty candle, and that was a very, very good catch here. So the MRKs, so that was our, nope, not that one. That was the other earlier MRK from the week. So our whale entry, yeah, I got in. So this was the whale entry from the 11th, valid on the 12th, obviously. I got in about that 380-ish for me, so I kind of got in a little quicker there, and then came up, hit 413. So I mean, you could have had a stop on again to get some traction, and if you held them again, no worries, because look at that move today. And then the B's, I mean, that pays for that pays for your lifetime for the Discord on some of these trades. How are these from earlier in the week? I know these things pumped for a little bit. So it looks like that whale's starting to kind of get out. Okay, we got to pop that one back. So again, like that 230, these hit that 288, and actually they hit 306, 310, 340-ish yesterday. So again, and that's one thing I always tell people too is, if you're in profits, throw a stop on. If you're up 10%, throw a stop on for break even. Consistent 10% wins will help you build your portfolio too. You don't have to always aim for the 500% home runs. You're going to be more happy if you're doing that, because now, like, if you would have swung these, now it looks like that whale's getting out at a loss at 74, or this other whale here, 264, and then hit that 340 yesterday, and then looks like they're getting out at 74 now. And that's one thing with the flow too. It's always time sensitive. Always pay attention to that, and that's kind of some of the advice I have there for everybody. Let's see what's going on with these. Any movement on these yet? IBIT, a little pop on those. 355. Both the coin calls. Kind of flat on those. Those SPY puts today, I think that whale actually got out a little early. 464 looks like 493 and 501. My math here, 19,000. You're at 78 there, plus 12, about 19,000. I think that whale got out a little early and missed that move. Won't know till tomorrow, but educated guess they are out. And yeah, those strategy calls, gonna see volume here, but my guess is that whale kind of got out here around these ask side candles. Again, won't know till tomorrow, but good move on those. That poor QQ whale. Let's see, yeah, not much kind of VRT puts. A little smaller size. Definitely an opener, only 2 open interest. 300K 2 weeks, 8% out of the money. My net premiums would update, so we're sitting bid side on everything. More call volume. Let's see. So IV spikes when that comes in. 66.48. IV spikes, then it drops a little bit there, comes back up. Yeah, and again another one where you're just getting killed on the day. Yeah, probably pass on something like that. Not much more for flow really coming in. Does anybody have any flow or anything they want me to take a peek at? It is quiet. DVN, gotcha. DVN and then socks. Gotcha. So DVN, let me just take this off here. So some bid side calls here. Yeah, usually whenever I want to do a live stream too, everything just kind of ends up being a little quiet here. So DVN, not really seeing a whole lot here, but yeah, and your IV is just, yeah, not seeing any major. I mean, that long-term ask side call here is probably your biggest premium on the day. Let's take a peek. Yeah, nothing really on the premiums here. Your net call premium gap filled. Let's look at gamma. So gamma, I'd say I like a little more upside here. Obviously, you got some higher levels here you got to fill there. I do want to come back over here to the overview and take a peek. So, okay, obviously short term there. Yeah, a lot of bid side stuff I'm not seeing. Maybe these 64-day calls here. A lot of, let's see. Open interest. So that 40 call, the 64 looks like that's where that volume is, and there's already 12,000 on it. When did all that start to come in? Let's see. Okay, September. Yeah, hard to. I'm thinking that 970 whale there might be part of this there, 33 and there, 49 there. Just a lot of contracts changing hands here. You see a lot of that same kind of volume size there. And this doesn't really matter there. And we'll take a peek at this long-term one here though. This started to come in on the 3rd, so I like this a little bit more. Oh, that thing's already pumped. Wow. Okay, I take that back. I don't like that anymore, but that whale is still in. And I did like that gamma again there. Showing a little more upside momentum there. So that's DVN for you. Let's do SOXS here. Let's see what we got here. So, up a lot today, obviously. So 137, looks like these 2 calls just kind of coming in here on that 120, 128 2 call. So in the money, obviously. Well, a lot of puts earlier, too. Oof. Let's see, so you're seeing ask side puts and calls here. Obviously more call volume. Could maybe squeeze another couple, maybe that $4 range. Yeah, kind of tight there actually to get to that. Yeah, maybe with that 390-ish where we're at now actually. So bid side puts. So your calls. So the 8-day 5 calls looks like that move there. Yeah, a lot of volume on that one already. Open interest on that one. I always say volume. Not gonna say it's the same thing because it's not, but let's take a peek. I want to look at the gamma quick here on it. Yeah, I mean that screams upside to me there with how far diverged we are. I mean, jeez. I mean, yeah, you're seeing a lot of liquidity coming in there. They're exposing themselves there to the upside. Let's go back to that flow feed. I will do, let's do 40 days plus here. So again, I'm going to say you're looking pretty bullish here. Obviously, really long term there. I mean, 800 days though. But you're seeing a lot of that ask side flow coming there. Bid side puts, I like those. I just don't like these ask side puts as well. So I mean, it's a lot of volume, and then you got bid side puts here. It's a lot of stuff coming in today. Anything earlier this week? Not really. How's that chart look on it? Yeah, you're sitting. Yeah, it's hard to know. I'd probably consider that flow almost more kind of mixed. It almost. I wonder if I think those they're so deep in the money. I mean, you're 54% in the money too, so it's can be kind of arbitragey there too. When something's that far in the money, usually I'm not really paying much attention of that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm even the calls. I mean, you're 49% in the money too, so and it's such a slow mover too. I mean, you're up 12% on the day, and it's where are we at? 41 cents. So I mean, it's a really slow mover. Obviously, just want to look at that chart here. So you are coming into a little resistance here. Actually, I probably put that resistance up a little bit more. I was gonna say look at the weekly chart, but it's so ugly. Yeah, that's oops. Yeah, this is okay. We're gonna pop this back to the daily. Yeah, I mean, you're just that chart is just so ugly there. I mean, looking at your hour here. You are kind of, say you get your trend there. Yeah, I mean, you break that 200 day there at 396. You could take that as a momentum, maybe up to that. God, I hate talking about these like 6 cent moves. Maybe take a move up to that 411-ish spot possibly, but you are getting a lot of kind of littler. That volume's tailing off here as we're getting up there. So my guess is you probably reject this and come back down. Yeah, have to see it. Like you said, it's gonna be Nvidia earnings. Let's see, what do we got coming in here? Probably hang out for a couple more minutes and then I might hop off here. So if anybody has anything else they want me to quickly look at, feel free to drop that in the chat. And take a peek at these. Core 160 calls. Go for your spread. Yeah, that's junk just right away looking at that junk. Thing ETF. Oh, we got some QQQ calls finally. Smaller size though. Kind of smaller premium. Looks like a block trade. Probably as well. Yep. So no flow around it to kind of really get a good guess on anything there. See these coming in some decent size. Obviously opening trade there. Again, you're already down 7% on the day. Do you really want to chase something like that? That's the thing. That is the thing. Oh, and it was above that 10% for multi-leg too. And yeah, it's block trade, so you don't really get any info out of that. Yeah, not much. Not too much here. Those coin put calls moving a little bit. Nope. Let's see what happens. Got another hour left. Yeah, just multi-leg. Alright, well, if nobody has any other nothing else they want me to take a peek at, I can probably hop off here so I can get that tied up here within the next 5-10 minutes here, and then we'll see what we get for power hour. Otherwise, yep, we'll be doing our power hour stream tomorrow as well. So I see you typing there, Meg, so I'm just going to give you a second. Make sure I'm not missing something that you want me to look at. Oh, there's a little bounce. Nope, not there. I see Wolf there. Yeah, there was, so that's the multi-leg one. We did have a good one earlier, though. I'll pull it here. I mean, we had some longer-term Wolf ones here. I believe I posted the 27s in the long term. Let me just double check. Yep, it was the 27s. So, I mean, a lot of net call premium today, and have a big ways to move up about to that 15 level to kind of close that essentially gap there. Obviously, long term on those ones, pretty far out of the money, but again, on the long term, sometimes it can kind of give you a sign here. And came in as a block trade, but just kind of combining your other data points, you can assume could see a little more downward movement, but you still have some upper levels here to hit to get all those levels up there. But alright, I'm gonna probably hop off here. The dog's bothering me now, wants to go outside, so I'm gonna hop off here, and then yeah, we'll finish the week tomorrow with another live stream. Have a great day, everyone.